Hello, welcome to Staring Into the Abyss. I'm your host, Richard Gerlach. With me, as always, is Matt Brandenburg.
We just read the most happiest, fun Christmas story anyone could ever read.
Yeah, I want all the presents. Oh, yeah, I want all the presents.
You want all the presents?
Yeah, give me.
I thought you wanted to go back to your mom's house.
No.
I really want that microwave turkey meal.
Yeah, that microwave turkey meal sounded really, really, really good.
Yeah, because, the secret is lots of gravy.
Well, today we're going to be discussing Visitation Rights by Kealan Patrick Burke, which is a very, 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 very happy story.
It just gives you so much warmth into your heart.
Oh God, yeah.
It's like a gut punch, guys. It's what everyone needs.
Yes. Oh,
especially
man.
During this, it's the season.
Yeah, it's. I know we all like our Christmas movies with monsters now. Everyone's really digging murderous Santas and Krampus and everything. But after reading this one, I want a really intense drama of this. I think this would be a great Christmas horror movie.
Can you imagine this like this version of Love Actually?
I mean, if you give me a minute,
I want this.
If you give me a minute, I'm sure we could argue a point of Love Actually and who's living and who's not living in that movie.
To be fair, I really fucking hate this movie, and all the people in that movie are assholes. I don't know why people are like cheering for those people, but I'm like, no, they're bad people. What's wrong with you?
So true. Oh man, I just don't get it either. I think it's just that like glossy upper coat of or top coat of, oh, it's so sweet and loving, and then like it's such a flimsy coat. If you just like poke a finger into it, you're like, no, these are all not good people.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I was like, oh, he's leaving her, like he's leaving his wife for this woman. That's so romantic.
This one guy's a stalker. It's cool.
Yes.
It's totally, that's how I want my men.
Rick is a stalker.
Yeah. But he's just so romantic that he doesn't know what no means, and it's totally fine because that's what we want, right?
No. Are you kidding me?
I always thought no meant yes, right?
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Of course you are.
But no, Love Actually is like, honestly, a lot of those movies have aged like so badly.
Yeah.
Like I was actually watching an interview earlier today with Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell for that new Apple TV Monarch show that they're in.
Yes.
And someone asked them if they have any experience bonding over movies. And Kurt's like, not really, because we make them. But then Kurt was, because like a lot of actors just don't watch movies like that, because it's their job. Like you're not going to just do your job at home. But then Kurt was like, wait, no, there was one time where back in the 90s, Wyatt begged me and Goldie to take him to see Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. And he's like, and Kurt's like, I just remember walking into the movie and seeing Wyatt with his lisp, because he had a very bad lisp back then, going, "Get ready for the funniest movie you'll ever see in your life."
Oh my God. I can imagine Goldie be like, no.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, that movie was really funny for the 90s, but man, that's aged so badly.
It really has, yeah.
Time has not been kind to that movie whatsoever.
No.
Speaking of Goldie, if you want to watch a really good movie with her, Death Becomes Her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Death Becomes Her is great.
That movie is still holds strong because it's funny as fuck.
I mean, there are still old comedies that hold up well. Like I think most Mel Brooks movies hold up pretty well.
Oh, yes.
To this day.
Yes.
Like,
oh yes. These are still my favorite comedies. Like, if I want a good laugh, I can still watch Robin Hood Men in Tights and laugh my ass off.
100%.
Oh no, what definitely. And like even like these more problematic movies, like a lot of people say you can't make Blazing Saddles today, and they'll just choose like the worst clips from Blazing Saddles. But if you
Yeah.
actually watch Blazing Saddles, it's like, no, this movie's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Like,
It's super funny.
like,
I
but
still
it's
love
like-
the joke that they managed to add it in Robin Hood Men in Tights when they handed it at you being the sheriff, like the
Yeah.
sheriff, and they were like, "A black sheriff," and he's like, "What? They wearing the Blazing Saddles?"
oh man, he's so funny.
Yep.
Oh, just classic.
Indeed. Well, why don't we go over some of our media recommendations from this last week before we dive into the happiest Christmas story since It's a Wonderful Life?
Yes.
Yeah.
See what I did there? That's a good one, right? I try. So, shit. There's been a little bit too much. I will say this: I have finally started the one of the gayest animes of all time,
All right.
JoJo's
Jojo?
Bizarre Adventure. Yep,
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Like,
Philip knew right away.
yeah, it had to be JoJo.
So JoJo, I will say this: if you want a really bizarre, fun time, that actually has pretty good horror overtones to it too. Like there's some good horror elements in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that go along with everything else. But I've been watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which I've already read the manga to current, so I know where everything's going. But the premise originally, it follows a lineage of people who come from this Joestar bloodline. And the first arc, it follows a man named Jojo and his rival, Dio, as they get into a conflict of gentleman concerns that delves into vampirism and zombies as things get very, very gay as it continues further. It is the guy who illustrates the manga was very influenced by fashion. And so like there's a lot of like homoerotic overtones to a lot of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure stuff. And he's also very big into classic rock. So half the characters are just named after classic rock bands.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
And it's also like it's really heavily inspired by drag,
Yes, very heavily inspired by drag.
which
But
I
that comes
love.
a bit more later. Season 1, I'd say not so much, but like by like you get to Golden Wind, it's very drag influenced.
Oh yeah.
But like literally one of the characters is named Ario Speedwagon.
That's amazing.
Like half the characters are named after classic rock bands, and it's just a wild fun time. I've been again, I've read the manga, but just watching JoJo's animated has just been a joy.
Do you think you can do the back? It's not a back flip, but like a back sway. Haven't you seen it? Like I've seen so many of people like cosplaying JoJo characters doing this, and I'm like, damn, dude, you have flexibility.
What is this back sway?
It's basically you stand tall and then you just bend yourself backwards, basically, but without like you bend your knees, but you
Okay.
like are almost like you're hovering above the floor.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
You bend your knees, but you lean back at the same time.
Yes.
No, I'm too old for that.
Right. I'm not
Matt
flexible enough.
Folt's knees crack just listening to that being described.
That's okay. I'll let them do that. I'll just
Right.
Yeah.
And before I pass on, I will say one of the movies I did manage to see this week was the new Hayao Miyazaki movie, The Boy and the Heron.
And
Which
Mm-hmm.
it's an interesting movie.
Okay.
I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I do kind of want to watch it a second time, knowing stuff that I know now. That being said, it is a very gorgeous movie, but it's Miyazaki, so that's to be expected.
Yeah.
I think it might be his best animated movie. Like it is, the animation's incredible. But it's about this boy who, in the start of the movie, it takes place during World War II, and his mother works at a hospital in Tokyo. And I think an airstrike happens or something goes down. The hospital catches fire, and his mom dies in the fire. And then 2 years later, his father gets reassigned to a factory outside of Tokyo, where his father's helping make airplanes for the Japanese cause for World War II. And our main character gets sent to this home with a new woman that his father's married to, who's pregnant, and she looks just like his mom, but she's not his mom. And when he gets this new house, this Heron begins talking to him, saying his mother's still alive, and trying to lead him to this strange tower that's kind of blocked off on the property. And once the boy gets into this tower that people try to keep him away from, it takes him to this fantasy world where he begins exploring this fantasy world and trying to find his mom, but also trying to find the woman who his father's married to, who's his stepmom, because she walked into the woods and never came back. And he thinks she found her way into this world, and he's trying to get her back to make his dad happy.
Oh.
And then it ties into a bunch of other shit as it goes on as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me just say there are parakeets that murder and eat people as a subplot of this movie. Like human-sized parakeet people that they love people meat.
Oh, people meat.
That's not a fear I didn't want here, but okay.
And
birds freak me out, okay?
Voice,
yeah. Oh, do they? All right.
Well, parrots do because they're so loud.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're parakeets, not parrots. Like budgies.
Potato, tomato.
No.
Budgies aren't that loud. Parrots are loud. Budgies are.
They have fucking feathers.
That's true. They do have feathers.
They do have feathers,
and they fly.
Do you want to hear something really terrifying?
Maybe.
What?
Yes.
So you know how we always thought dinosaurs roared?
Yes.
Yes. Have you heard it? You heard it.
People think they actually chirp.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they sort of did that in Jurassic Park. So.
Yep.
But imagine a fucking T-Rex chirping at you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I mean, it'd be terrifying,
That's
but it would
terrifying.
be pretty awesome. I like it. I like that idea.
But the parakeet leader, the king of the parakeets, is voiced by Batista.
Nice.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
The voice cast in this movie stacked, and Batista, like everyone does a good job. Like everyone highlights Robert Pattinson because I think he surprised everybody being his first voice role. Because Robert Pattinson's great, but like Batista's great, Mark Hamill's great, Christian Bale's great. Like all the voice actors they got are great.
You know, it's funny, like, because I've been seeing all that stuff about Robert Pattinson. I honestly would never be able to tell you what his voice sounded like. If you just played an audio clip of a bunch of people, I 100% would not be able to pick out his voice.
Well, the thing is, because he's good at hiding his accent.
Yeah.
So like every time you hear Robert Pattinson speaking in his actual accent, it's always a double take at first because we're so used to seeing him speaking with an American accent in movies and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like when people actually thought that Hugh Laurie was an American because he played House.
Yeah.
But people like the rest of Europe were like, he's British. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like he's as British as he can be.
Oh, trust me, the first time I watched Blackadder and I realized Hugh Laurie was British, my mind was blown.
Right? Oh, he's such a good actor.
He's a really good actor. But
that's what I love about British actors because they're really good chameleons.
Yeah. And with the boy and the Heron, one thing I will say is like once the boy enters his fantasy worlds, the movie kind of picks up and drops random plot points where like nothing's really fully developed.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's not really the purpose. The purpose is the boy's journey. But because nothing's developed, you end the movie with a lot of questions. That's like, why did this happen? Who was this character? Why did this character get introduced sooner? What was going on here? But because the focus is on the boy, we don't get the answers to these lingering questions we're going to have when the movie ends.
Yeah.
So, like, if you don't like that, this movie will not be happy for you. You'll be very frustrated with a lot of the experience. But that being said, if you want to see, if you're a sucker for Hayao Miyazaki, it's definitely worth seeing. It's probably going to be his last movie. The dude's like 82 years old. I don't think he's going to be directing or animating much more anime movies.
Probably not.
And one thing that kind of pissed me off too is like, I went to see the movie in theaters, and there was this like two movies they played, which were Japanese movie trailers, and one's called Monster, which isn't the Urasawa manga or anime adaptation, but it looks like a really good drama thriller about like this child who did something bad and lied to his parents, and things kind of spiral out of control. That looks really good. And I just remember the trailer plays, and I just hear someone go, "That's Oscar bait." And I'm just like, bro, it's a fucking Japanese movie. Like, they
don't care.
Like, they don't care. They're not trying to make a movie to satisfy the American awards. They just want to make a fucking movie for their culture. Then there's another one that came out, I think it was called like Perfect Days, which is about this like older man who his job is he cleans the public toilets in Tokyo, and he's just kind of living this quiet life as a janitor, and his niece and him begin to reconnect their relationship as like he's just kind of going through his life. It looks like this really touching drama that's also very Japanese culturally.
Yep.
And the same people's like, what's up with these fucking Oscar movies? And I want to punch you in the fucking face.
Just like, this is actual Japanese culture. They thrive on the drama.
That movie theater sounds crazy.
No, it was just.
So does that happen?
Okay. It was two fucking dudes. And I was just like so fucking angry at them the entire time.
Makes me wonder why the hell they were going to see a Hayao Miyazaki movie.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Like, this is the culture, my dude.
I think I will say this, like, Japanese people love melodrama.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so much melodrama in Japanese stories.
Oh yes.
But like, so like when you see a Japanese movie, which with Matt, I know what you're going to talk about, like, melodramas to be expected.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's just cultural storytelling. Like, Korean, like, people make fun of melodrama and then watch fucking Korean TV shows on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, those are the most melodramatic things you'll ever fucking watch in your life.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, all right, you do you.
Yeah.
But anyway, Matt, what about you?
Yes. All right. Well, I'll start with the book first, and that was, I read Sisters of the Crimson Vine by P.L. McMillian. It came out from Timber Ghost Press, I think like a year ago, actually, almost like a year ago to the day. Kind of crazy. This is like a folk horror kind of thing with, pretty much a folk horror kind of thing. A guy, our main character, crashes at the beginning, and he kind of wakes up at this church, or a nunnery, or a convent, maybe is the right word to use for that one. And all these nuns are taking care of him, and they make wine that makes him feel very sexy. And
this is giving me Odysseus vibes.
Yes. And so as he's there, these nuns are very nice to him, and he heals up like a lot faster than he expects. And at the same time, what kind of confused me, so there's like a priest and a deacon that show up, but I feel like one of them was at the convent the whole time, but maybe not. I kept having to flip through it. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that these two dudes are like checking the books because the nuns are giving the wine out to the village, kind of like paying, like, hey, we need a new, I don't know, roof, and so here's a case of wine. But then every once in a while somebody's paying for the wine, and the priests are like, hey, you're not paying money to the church, so we don't like this, so we're going to check it out. So you kind of have this like thing going back and forth where the guy's like trying to be nice to the priests, but then also he's really digging these nurses or nuns, so he's trying to be nice to the nuns too. And of course, because it's a folk horror thing, there is a big festival that's going to happen like in a week or something to help all the grapevines grow, and so you could probably see where this is going. Like it, I don't want to. This isn't a complaint, but it follows that kind of trajectory of like, there's a big folk festival, and there's all these nuns doing these things, and there's like a weird scarecrow. Like, gee, I wonder what's going to happen. It follows those beats, but it's written really well. So like, you don't mind that you kind of see where this is going to lead you to. And I won't spoil it because I really do think you should read it. Just you're not going to get anything unexpected while you're reading this. And again, there's nothing totally wrong with that if it's written well, and this one is written really well. And it's neat. It's a neat little concept because it's nuns, and you're kind of getting this idea of like something weird's going on, but you're not fully ever seeing the weirdness of it. You're just getting glimpses, just enough to let your imagination kind of wander and play with what it could be. But it was fun. It's a fast read. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. It was a good. I think this might have been her debut novella, so it was really a good one for like a debut because it's giving you a taste of what she can do. And I think she's got something new, spacey coming out. If you listen to Dead Languages, she's one of the co-hosts with Carson Winter. So yeah, Sisters of the Crimson Vine, interesting stuff. Nothing we haven't seen before, but again, there's nothing really wrong with that. The next thing is I did get to see Godzilla Minus One, which is amazing, absolutely brilliant. It's
I love it. I love how much you guys love kaiju movies. It's just so adorable. You just love big ass monsters, and I'm like, okie dokie.
But you know what's great is this. We were discussing this afterwards, and you could honestly cut Godzilla out and still have an amazingly strong movie. He's there to kind of give you some points, some kind of like punctuation to stuff, but it's really this drama about and I think we've talked about this before, so hopefully none of this is something you've heard before, people listening, but like, it's a kamikaze pilot who doesn't do his mission, and he's back in Japan after this, and he's kind of facing that idea that he got a bunch of other people died because of a thing, and so he's kind of facing this guilt plus the honor of not losing the honor of not doing his kamikaze mission. And then you're seeing Japan kind of rebuild after the airstrikes. So, it's decimated, and everyone's kind of just figuring each other out and like how to survive. And at the same time, he's dealing with this guilt, and his war is not done. I think Rich, before the show, he mentioned, and it's totally accurate, is it's like this great description of PTSD and survivor's guilt, and I think that captured it a lot. But it does have Godzilla in it, and he shows up a couple he does show up a couple times, and he's absolutely terrifying. They did such a great job of making him we're so used to seeing him in, from all the old movies, and then you got the legendary monster stuff that's out recently, so you're kind of used to seeing him one way, but then we see him in this, you're like, well, no, he's still an absolutely terrifying monster that it just does not care about us and will do what he wants, and people are going to die. Lots and lots of people are going to die. So it was awesome. The one thing it reminded me of, and Rich, I don't know if this will make sense to you, it might, but it reminded me a lot of Ip Man. Did you see Ip Man with Danny Yoon?
I've seen Ip Man.
Yeah. So like that one is, a great drama again. I think I'm trying to remember if that one's like a World War I or during World War II.
It will be around World War II, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, it means during when Hong Kong was being controlled by England.
Yes. Okay,
that was between World War I and World War II. Donnie Yen plays Ip Man, who was the guy who trained Bruce Lee.
Yes. And
the Grandmaster that trained Bruce Lee.
And that one, another one for listeners, if you haven't seen it, definitely see it. It's a big melodrama like of dealing with that same kind of idea of like Japan kind of like rebuilding. And so it's just fascinating, like this, thinking about that, and then watching Godzilla Minus One, and it's also this kind of like war torn thing. And so both of those would
There's a lot of melodrama in Godzilla Minus One too.
Yeah, lots of melodrama. But no, it's amazing. It's definitely worth checking out. I think it's a cool, good, it's a good Godzilla movie, but it's even better, like, just look at survivor's guilt and PTSD. So yeah, I think that's it for me this week.
And plus those Godzilla scenes are terrifying.
God, they made him absolutely he is just awesome and terrifying.
I love that scene when he goes to Ginza and you see the reporters on the roof of the building, and they're just like, he's getting closer, and then he just fucking tears the building down.
And there's this like awesome little bit like that you just don't think about, but like when Godzilla's kind of traipsing through town and he's smashing everything, his tail is doing like the cat wave, just a slow kind of wag as he's doing all this stuff. And it's such a small detail, but it's just, again, kind of like hits home that he's this thing. But like, it was like, you just see this little tail wag as he's like tackling buildings and stuff. And you're like, oh God, cats would do
Matt,
this.
Matt, what you have to watch now?
What's that?
Shin Godzilla.
I know, it's on my list. I was like, I need to see this.
You've seen Shin Godzilla, right, Vitlame?
I've seen the one with Matthew Broderick.
Oh, that's a terrible movie. That's such a bad movie.
I know, but it's the only Godzilla movie I've seen. Well, no, I actually did watch no, that was a King Kong movie though. That wasn't Godzilla.
So Vitlame, you gotta check out Shin Godzilla as well. It's directed by Hideaki Anno, who did the Neo Genesis Evangelion anime.
Oh my! Then it's gonna be a brain fuck.
And he directed a Godzilla movie. And this movie is did you know how in the original Godzilla movie it's a metaphor for the atomic bomb?
Yeah.
In this one, he uses Godzilla as a metaphor for the Fukushima nuclear disaster.
Oh my God! No! Oh shit!
And the movie kind of places a lot of blame on the government and their lack of responding to natural disasters that have hurt the Japanese people.
So this is like, it's straight up propaganda.
Well, it's straight up the government fucked up.
Yeah, I mean it is. Like, yeah. They fucked up big time. But like, I'm surprised they actually allowed that movie to show.
Yeah, it won awards in Japan actually when it came out.
Holy fuck! Okay, that's interesting.
The Godzilla in that movie is terrifying. And what is cool about that movie is the Godzilla is constantly evolving, like as the movie continues. And the atomic breath scene is one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in the movie. Like, it's not as badass as the atomic breath in this movie, but it's like devastating how intense it is in that movie. Because like in this movie, when you see the atomic breath go off, like it's intense. And you see the aftermath of the wind just blowing everything back. Oh, it's so good. Like I love me some cheesy Godzilla, like the old school men in rubber suits fighting each other in model cities, and little Godzilla victory dances, winning the fights and stuff like that. Those are fun, but like the fact we're going back to scary kaiju is like peak. Like,
yes,
it's so good. But Vitlame, what about you? I know you're still working on the game that won Game of the Year.
Yes, but I won't talk about too much of that. I am playing it differently than I did in the last playthrough. Like I'm still playing a good run, but I missed on so many side quests in the first playthrough that I'm like trying to find all of them now. Like I'm not gonna lose any people now. No way. Like I realized, like in the first playthrough, like wait, so I could have had like a side quest with that fucking character. And I was like, I had no idea. And then I like randomly did it like by pure chance because I just bumped into him. I'm like, wait, where are you supposed to be? And then I have to save you? You asshole! And then I saved him, and then I meet him back in like when we finally reach Baldur's Gate, and I'm like, so I actually finished your side quest? What the? I had really no idea. Yeah, it's really funny. Like you can expect so many weird things happening, like and find so many weird things. If you're playing like for the second time, which I'm doing, I'm like, whoa, I didn't even know this was there. And then, wait, she has a legendary weapon? What?
Wait, how long did it take you to beat in the first playthrough?
It was over 100 hours, I think.
Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that's not a judgment on how long. That's interesting that you're finding more stuff to do.
Exactly. And just to let you know, I was playing in easy mode in the first playthrough. I'm in balance right now, and I'm like, holy crap. But I like at the beginning the fights were super hard. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die every single time. But now after I managed, because I suck at strategies. Like when I'm playing D&D, I'm the role player. I'm like, I just go with the flow of the story. And when it comes to fighting, I'm like, I have absolutely no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So now I'm like really putting much more thought into strategizing the battles. And they're going so easy right now. I'm like, what's happening? I made my vampire rogue into a fucking powerhouse.
That's crazy.
Like this guy, like holy crap, my man, my boyfriend, he is amazing. he crits, he deals damage every fucking single time, and he can just basically finish off a boss like within 2 turns.
That's crazy.
I know. I'm like, holy crap! Why are you so powerful? Like, while my character's like, hi, I can give you bardic inspiration. Whee! Like, I'm a paladin bard, but at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, is my character so useless? And then I'm like, nah, he's fine. I'm pretty good at persuading people to kill themselves, so I'm okay with that. And since I'm like a paladin, I'm pretty good against undead people. So yeah, I'm gonna roll those fights.
That's funny.
Like, but when it comes to the other fights, I'm like, I'm a support character. You just go do your thing, honey.
Oh, I love
so
it.
yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this game. It's like, and when you have the chance, if you have the chance, you should definitely try it, because there's a reason why this won Game of the Year. I mean, I will say
the fans.
The fans are amazing.
Oh, no, I was gonna say the fans of Spider-Man 2 are very angry that Baldur's Gate won Game of the Year.
And yeah, just fuck them.
It's been I've never seen a community of people get so salty overnight, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Right? Did we Baldur's Gate even got the rewards for best community?
Like, I didn't play that game so bad.
Yeah, like it won best community, best RPG. Neil Newbon, who plays Astarion, he got best performance, which he totally deserved. And Game of the Year. I'm like, yeah, and two more awards. I can't remember which, but yeah, it's like when you put so much love into this one game for 6 years and not being part of like a corporate like gaming company, it shows.
Yeah.
And and mad props to one of the founders of Larian Studios. He actually accepted the award wearing a plate armor.
Oh, nice. That's very funny.
Yeah, Sven did that. It was amazing.
I will say that the best part of the Game Awards, though, was that the Alan Wake musical number.
Yes, I saw it. It was so funny. The one with the flashlight. It was so funny.
That musical number actually plays in the game at a climactic point of the story.
Really? I didn't know that.
With the live action actors doing the dancing on stage in the game as well.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
And the band that played that song, like the power metal song that's going on.
Yeah.
They're an actual real band called Poets of the Fall. And they're related to one of the guys who owns Remedy Studios. So when they make in-game songs for Remedy, they use the name The Old Gods of Asgard. And they make these like cheesy power metal songs for the Remedy games.
I love that. That's amazing. So yeah, aside from that, I did watch 2 Argentinian horror movies.
Oh.
You got to see Terrified finally too?
Yeah, I watched it yesterday.
Yes, okay. I'm excited to hear about these.
Okay, so yeah, I watched Terrified, Atrados, and When Evil Lurks. I can't remember how that is in Spanish. Something maldad. Cuando acerca maldad, I think. Don't like, I know people are probably going to be pretty fucking pissed that I butchered this, but yes. But yeah, I watched When Evil Lurks and Terrified. And this guy has a theme, this director.
Does
he has a theme. Like, I just watching those 2 movies was like, yeah, you have, this is your style, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm probably going to see a lot more of that from your movies now.
Because he can fuck you up. That's his theme. He likes to fuck you up.
Yeah, but I also think like one of his core style is ambiguity.
Oh yeah.
Like a lot of ambiguity. And we're talking, yeah, I'm like talking about a heavy load of ambiguity. It's like basically, like, here you go. This is happening. You don't need to know why. And we're like, can we get a little bit of explanation? Nah. This is just happening.
It's just happening.
Yeah, and it's like, so basically, like, yes, you know the term, go with the flow. This is basically it, but with the horror. Like, okay. Not sure what to do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's basically how I feel about it. It's like, I do enjoy the brutality of it. Like, he has pretty much really brutal scenes. More so in When Evil Lurks. I didn't find the scenes in Terrified to be really brutal.
The showerhead scene was terrifying, though.
Oh yeah. That was okay. That one scene, yeah, that was really, really, really brutal. But aside from that one, like, they were more scary though. Like, they were more like to like terrify you, basically. Whereas in When Evil Lurks, like, Jesus Christ, these scenes. I was like watching it really late, and I'm like, if I have a nightmare, I will wake you up. I told my husband. And he's like, it's okay, I have you. You have the cast. I'm like, I don't care. I will fucking wake you up. Like, you wake me up with your snores. Thankfully, I didn't, though. So my mind is pretty depraved. That is like, nah, we can process through this.
Yeah, right.
But I enjoyed When Evil Lurks more than Terrified, because for me it had more of a skeletal structure of what was happening. Like, you had an inkling what was happening. Although you didn't get the why, you kind of got the how. Yeah, whereas Yeah, like we're in Terrified. He was like, it's just happening. We don't know why. And it was like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, are we gonna fix it? No.
Well, they try to fix it, but the thing is in both movies is
No,
like
they didn't try
everybody's
to
in
fix
over
it. They
their
were
heads.
just no, Rich. They were not
No,
fixing it. They were studying it.
Yeah.
They
And it
weren't
just
fixing
gets worse
shit.
and worse and worse. Well, think about his movies is like nobody knows what's going on. Like when Evil Lurks, the only person who could have given us answers was killed before the movie starts. Like
Yeah,
no one else
yeah.
really knows.
You mean the cleaner?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, we could have gotten more from the elderly cleaner, but
That's true.
yeah, but for some reason they like I don't know if the director was like, I don't know how to explain this, so let's just kill her.
Yeah.
Also, that goat scene though.
Shit, yeah. There was a lot of fucking animal brutality in it, though. I didn't like that.
Yeah, there's between the goat and the dog.
Yeah. It's like guys, if you want to see with this movie, if you are like me and can't handle animal deaths in any types of movie, just be prepared. This is these are two brutal scenes you don't want to see.
You also get like I remember sitting in the theater and just watching the woman take an axe to her face, and my jaw was like on the floor, and I'm like, "What the fuck am I watching right now?"
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed both, but when people say that these were like genuinely terrified you, like they were scared to go to bed.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I
like,
feel also
like
we're kind of numb to a lot of horror stuff because we consume so much of it.
Yeah, I think it's because of that. For me, I'm like, yeah, like I enjoyed the scenes that were terrifying. Like I enjoyed them, but at the same time, like it kind of was like it kind of went like a wave to me. It's like the wave rushed over me and then it was done.
Huh.
Like I had a friend who's like, give me a good demonic possession story movie to watch. So I'm like, okay, your choice is gonna be either Talk to Me or When Evil Lurks.
Okay.
And he goes, okay, I'm gonna watch When Evil Lurks. And this guy's like a normie. He's not super into horror stuff. And as soon as the movie finished, he was like, that was fucking terrifying. What the fuck did you have me watch?
Yeah, I mean for us seasoned like veterans, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, like we've seen too much. But at the same time, like there's still scenes in that movie that got me. Like
oh yeah.
The dog scene. Holy shit, that got me.
Yeah. Like I said, I truly appreciate the terrifying scenes. Like I'm still like reeling from the dog scene. Like holy crap! I did yelp out loud.
When the girl comes back and her face is fine after being mauled by the dog.
Yep.
And she's like, "You're gonna get crushed by a car," and then she just starts dancing. Yeah. And then the fucking car crushes her mom, and she's just dancing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's so fucked up.
Yeah, and not just like not that scene, but also the mommy scene. I'm not gonna spoil what happens in the mommy scene, but the mommy scene, is fucked up.
What about the green apple ice cream scene?
Oh,
it crazy.
It does put me off ice cream for a while. But
honestly, though, that ice cream sounds tasty.
It does, but at the same time, like, why would you put it in a styrofoam though? Like the sound it made when he was scraping it off, I'm like, no.
Oh god.
Like that was more terrifying for me than what happened afterwards.
Also, I will say I won't spoil the ending, but I love the final frame of that movie.
Oh yeah, it was good. Way better than the ending at the Terrified. The Terrified was really it was a gotcha moment basically. It's like a jump scare gotcha.
Yeah, this one is like the ending to The Mist.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Like I do like that. I do love especially in When Evil Lurks, like when evil basically wins.
Yeah.
Or it's more like, I think it was more like, for me, like he had to finally accept that this was permanent and there was nothing he could do about it.
Yep. I love, like, this is a spoiler, but I love the scene when they're in the school
Mm-hmm.
and they find the demon, the rotten, buried beneath the floorboards. And then you have all the dead children's parents buried beneath the floorboards with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just covered in lime to like hide the scent
That's messed up.
of the parents.
Yeah, the kids did that.
Yeah, the kids did that.
Holy crap.
Mm-hmm. Because they like evil. And I'm like, oh, wow.
Evil likes children.
Yeah. Like evil likes children and children likes evil. And I'm like, wow, you don't like kids, do you?
Or my favorite is when the kid lies to was it Pablo was her main character?
Pedro.
When the kid lies to Pedro to get him off the stage.
Yep.
And then the other kids take the elderly cleaner and just start bashing her head in with a hammer as they're dragging her away.
He really hates heads.
This movie's fucked up. Like it's a really fucked up movie.
It's like I'm worried that this is something that he has been fantasizing for a long while, and the only urges he can do it is by film.
Is smashing heads?
Yeah, like seriously, it's not just in When Evil Lurks. It also happens in Terrified.
Yeah. Honestly, though, whatever this dude makes, I'm here for. Like those two movies. Yeah. Like I will say, When Evil Lurks is better than Terrified.
It is better. But
even watching Terrified, it's a really good movie. And
I mean, it's a breath of fresh air for sure.
Oh,
when it comes to this kind of haunting thing.
We don't get lots of horror movies out of Argentina, so it's kind of cool to see like Argentinian horror stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's similar to like seeing Korean horror, and you're like, yes, give me more.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's basically.
Why don't we head over to? Yeah, I think we should change the gears and head over to watch some read some Christmas horror.
Yes.
With Visitation Rights by Kealan Patrick Burke.
Yes. So
have you guys read Kealan Patrick Burke before?
Yeah, I have. I've read Sour Candy.
Oh, Sour Candy's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I don't know if I have, or if I did, it was a couple of years ago and I don't remember, but we'll just, for the sake of this, say this was my first.
All right.
And I was going to ask, had either of you read this collection? Is it like all Christmassy, or is this the only Christmas one?
No.
It's all Christmas winter themed.
Yeah, okay. It's winter themed. Like he has released 2 books that are like of the seasons. Like one like autumn, and this one is winter themed.
Nice. All right, I like that. Yeah, because this one, like, I do want to read more now because the story was good and not what I expected.
Right? I had like theories running through my head the entire time, but the ending still gave me a sucker punch in the gut.
And left me with a big question that I'll ask in a little bit.
All right, then.
But yeah, so it opens up with the dad and his 2 daughters in a car, and he had just picked them up from their mom, and they're, I think, going to spend Christmas night with him or something along the time of Christmas. And the oldest definitely doesn't want to do this. The youngest is just picking up cues from the oldest, and he is trying like hell to make them enjoy this time together.
Also, remember, every time he looks in the mirror, they all have tears in their eyes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's like a detail given to us very early on.
Okay. And yeah. Now, do you think that's a clue to the very end, or is that just a clue to be like, they don't want to be here?
Both.
Okay. That's good to know. So yeah, we at the drive home, the drive to his apartment, you get some hints just like, hey, it's been like a year and he was a drunk. I think he still sort of might be, but he used money. He used the drinking money to buy presents. Something bad happened between him and the wife that made him lose his rights to the kids. So
and he has no custody rights to the kids.
Yeah, so
we learned this early on. We learned this pretty early on too, that like these kids are not supposed to be with him.
Yes, which is like
basically just by the body language from the kids.
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
And then he even says he didn't get visitation. Like, what was it? The divorce. He lost everything to his ex-wife.
Yeah. Which like I'm appreciating you guys bringing all these up because there's a lot of clues that like now that you're talking about him, I'm like, oh yeah, like a lot of this stuff kind of comes through because so it's good to know. They eventually get to his place and they definitely don't want to be there. And he's promised them a turkey dinner, which is just gonna be microwave turkey, and he's got presents for them. And they're bawling at this point, and that he just kind of breaks down and he's like, I just really want you guys to be happy with me and let's just open presents and I'll take you home. And they don't want the presents, even though they're like the coolest things, a cell phone and a doll or something, I guess.
Yeah, the Sassy Sally.
Yeah. So they don't want him and he takes him home, and then that's when we get the gut punch of an ending.
Yep.
Yeah. I just love
it's a very short, simple story. Like there's not so much going on here, but there's a lot of very hidden clues that kind of lead us along the way. Yeah.
And like you're like invested in this thing because you're kind of like, okay, this is like, my family background, like I totally get what's happening and this is a tough time, and you're invested in this and you're like really hoping, you're already hoping for the dad. You're like, yeah man, maybe this will be good, but then you're also with the kids, you're like, trust the kids, and the kids aren't happy, so something is not right here. And so it's very this kind of drama, but then you're clearly from clues, but you're kind of like, something is not good. Something shouldn't have happened that happened before this story. So yeah, no, this was good. And I guess because it is super short, we can just jump right into spoiler territory.
Yeah.
What I don't think we said, what collection is this in?
It is in Dead of Winter.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Winter. It's all clicking for me now. So yeah, check that out. And now we're going to spoil it. But again, this is like, I don't know, it's probably like 6 pages. It's not a very long story, so it's kind of hard to avoid getting to the spoiler part. The end, like half a page is him putting them back in the ground or putting them in the ground and that they're dead and they're next to their mom.
Yep.
So the big question is, were they dead the whole time?
Yeah,
I think so.
You think so? You don't think he killed them in between?
No, I think they were dead the whole time, especially because he says something where he's like, hope is a dangerous thing, both out it, what else is there? I allow myself a small smile. We'll see. Valentine's Day is not so far away.
So you think he's been doing this for every holiday?
No, I think. Well, I think it's at least been a year since he's done it.
Yeah, okay. I think so. Yeah,
because he mentions it's his first time seeing his daughters in a year.
Yeah, and like he's been sober because of it.
Okay. Yeah, that like I was trying to decide if they were dead the whole time or if he killed them in between us. When we see him getting them back in the car and then to the burying thing. And the only reason I was thinking that is like, I mean, I guess it's, unless you think of it as his guilt, but I was like, if it was all his imagination, as in like, he's carrying these dead people around, his dead daughters around, like, wouldn't if he had made them like super happy to be there? But I guess maybe if it was his guilt. And so he was manifesting guilt through their voice.
It's a possibility, yeah.
Also, one thing I'm noticing as I'm flipping through the story again is when they're in his car, the kids don't talk.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they said little things, just like we shouldn't be
No,
doing
they don't.
this.
No,
they
it
don't
was-
talk.
it
They
was-
don't talk at all.
They only talk at the when they arrive at his house.
Ah. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I thought,
like right here. It's everyone hungry. No response. Isabella's tears in her eyes. In a mirror, my smile looks desperate and frail. And then, are you excited about your presents? Again, Isabel says nothing. Kara only blinks.
oh, that works. Okay. I can see that now. Yeah, because I thought, like, in my building of the story is that he had killed their mom, took them,
Yeah.
and then they didn't want to be there because they saw him kill their mom, and so that, like, he's taking them back and then kills them. But I do dig the idea of them being dead the whole time.
My reading of the story is he killed all three of them, and then in his guilt he takes his daughters out, and then when he brings them back home, his guilt just leads them to his daughters in his mind just cry and want to go back to their mom because he hurt them too much. And then he tries, I think him giving them his gifts is giving them gifts that he bought for them is him trying to like be like, I am a good dad. I didn't do this horrible thing. Like I didn't do this trying to like get rid of the guilt that he holds for committing this thing he did. And then he realizes there is no forgiving it. And that's when he brings his daughters back to the grave.
Okay. I like that. I can see that. Yeah, because there is like there was like a reference of one time that he like kind of went off on his wife.
He said he left bruises on her and stuff.
Yeah.
Like physically and stuff.
He says, it's been over a year since I've seen my children. A year is a long time to be misrepresented by an ex-wife who hates you, and she has every right to hate me. I was a drunk and a violent one. And yes, I hurt her more than once, sometimes physically, often emotionally, but I never hurt our children, never did anything but love them, and it angers me to see what she has done to them.
Yeah. So see, like that one, like you could interpret that they were all alive until that night. Like, so, which I think is a sign of a good story because we have multiple ways we can look at this.
Oh yeah. I mean, my interpretation of it is that he did kill them like in a drunken rage, and with him being sober for so long, like for a year, I think in his deranged like rationalization, he feels that bringing the girls to his home is his way of like repaying or like, repaying the debt that, the 12 steps do.
Yeah.
You have to like admit what you did wrong and stuff. So I feel like this is his weird ass rationalization of doing that. Like if he brings the girls home, he'll be able to feel to himself like that he has become a better man.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering because like why wouldn't if he'd done this sooner? Like why Christmas?
Because Christmas is a family day.
Yeah.
But then what is Valentine's Day? That's not really a family day.
Well, for him, that's what he says. He wants to make amends with his wife. Christmas was about making amends with his children.
Valentine's Day will be about his wife.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. All right. I can buy that. But man, yeah,
what was your guys' reaction when you realized the kids were dead?
Yeah.
Again, like I had a theory that this was something similar. Like either that he was going to like in his rage gonna kill them and then say like we're all gonna be here together forever, because given that he was always suppressing his rage, that they weren't speaking to him, kind of felt like it was going in that direction. So when this revelation came, I was like, ouch. But at the same time, like, kind of right, but ouch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, even because right here at the end it says like they say nothing on the car ride back to their mother, even when I tell them I'm sorry for scaring them, even when I tell them the words I've rehearsed in my gloomy apartment every night for over a year, even when I open the car door for them and tell them I hope we can try again sometime, they have nothing to say, and that says enough. Lit by the car's headlights, our passage up the snowy cross-scented hill is a somber one. Happy Christmas, I whisper to Isabel as I lay her body back into her grave. The wind freezes my tears. Happy Christmas, I whisper to Kara as I lay her down in the hole, which is not as deep as I dug, thanks to the endless snow. I return to the car and retrieve the shovel, grimacing as the handle chafes against my calloused hands. And as I fill my children's grave back in, my eyes straight to the headstone next to theirs, to my wife's grave, and I wonder if she will ever forgive me. If maybe that's where a wiser man would have started. If maybe, just maybe, someday she might give me another chance. Hope is a dangerous thing, both what else is there? I allow myself a small smile. We'll see. Valentine's Day is not so far away.
I might have to rejigger my theory because you said headstone. So that totally makes sense. Okay. They've been dead for a while. Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess I must have missed the headstone thing because there's no way he would have killed him and then had a headstone already for him. So, all right.
Yeah.
I'm changing my theory, but that yeah. But yeah, like I kind of had a theory. Well, obviously I had a theory. I assumed he killed the mom like that night and they had saw it. And so that's kind of like, as you're reading that first part, I was like kind of in my head thinking that I'm like, oh man, they like saw a murder and now they're terrified and he's trying to do, I don't know, Christmas. So but no, this was fun. I really enjoyed this one, as dark as it was.
This was fun. This was fun. This was fun.
You didn't like that description?
So I'm gonna call the state of Minnesota, the state of Michigan, to have a welfare check on Matt's kids.
Fun as in like this was like a good dark disturbing story and it's not our usual Christmas.
No, it was like I remember a while ago I had just bought Hobo with a Shotgun on Blu-ray and we were watching it with a bunch of my friends and it got to the scene where the guy like puts a flamethrower on a school bus full of children and burns them all alive. And my friend Pam just had the biggest laugh when that scene happened. And we all just kind of stared at her.
I wouldn't do that.
Oh no, you said the story was fun. I'm just saying.
I thought it was a fun, unique take on a Christmas thing.
No, it is. It's a good twist on a good Christmas story.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, it's like we get a lot of the normal what we've seen already of Christmas horror kind of things. Those are all those are also very entertaining, but like, after a while you're like, I've seen this before. I've seen a killer Santa. I've seen the killer elf thing before, but this one you're like, oh man, this is like still got the horror in it because you don't know what's happening and you're like, damn, this is like a real life horror kind of thing. And I appreciate that.
And it's got the drama, it's got the real people, it's got a lot going on.
Yeah, so this was a good one. I'm always Indeed. Up for more unique Christmas stuff. So
me too. But I will say to our audience, if you haven't read Kealan Patrick Burke, definitely fix that. He is a fantastic author.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did a really good job, and like you've been saying, like putting in all these subtle hints and stuff in there, it's really cool, and I'm in for him. I'm in for this like fall thing that you said he did, and now this winter thing. I'm in for that. So I will check out more.
His fall book is called Dead Leaves.
Nice.
And he also, one that I'd recommend too, Sour Candy is really good.
Yeah, I
And
really recommend that.
John Carpenter actually adapted Sour Candy into a comic book.
Nice.
And that's really good. He has his novel Kin is like him writing what happens after the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes, holy crap, that book. Holy crap.
The rebirthing scene.
Yep.
Oh, that sounds awesome. It's called Kin.
Yeah, it's called Kin.
Okay, I'm down.
He also has a series of coming of age stories called The Turtle Boy. And it's about a boy who's able to see ghosts, but not like in the Sixth Sense that I can see dead people. It's more like the ghosts are here because something's keeping them to the earth, and he has to find like what is keeping them there, and that ties into like some horrible shit his father did many years ago, and like it ties into like this whole thing of him growing up as he's trying to understand why these problems are happening and coming to terms with like his own family's past and stuff.
That sounds cool.
So Kealan Burke has some really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go wrong. But I will say, if you want to read Kid is so fucked up.
Yeah.
It's such a wonderfully fucked up book.
Yeah. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it has an awesome final girl, though.
It does have an awesome final girl. And that rebirthing scene is so fucked.
Yep.
But Villain, where can listeners get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me through my website, villainmistauthor.com, and I'm also on X, so not as much, but again, people can send me DMs if they want to talk. And I'm also on Blue Sky at Villain.
All right, Matt, what about you?
Yeah, Twitter, X, whatever. I'm there. Brandenburg DM. I'm on Blue Sky, just my name, Matt Brandenburg, I think. And yeah, that's me.
I'm a Blue Sky at Richard Gerlach, and you can. I'm trying to make a Blue Sky account for Abyss, so hopefully Abyss gets on Blue Sky soon. But this is Richard Gerlach saying, keep staring.